Yeah, dog, it's fucking sick. Ugh, I want to check it out. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I fucking love history. I don't know if you noticed, but I went to college as a history major, so I geek out on this type of shit. Yep, let's go. We're going inside. Welcome to what is this? Probably like 12th century Korea. This is a palace. So this is where a king stayed, along with his servants, his soldiers, his peasants. Wow. It's fucking awesome. I could just picture a fucking bunch of people out here taking care of the courtyard. I could picture the king kicking it with all his fucking concubines. Just chilling. And then worrying about the freaking rival enemies coming through, trying to bust in through, and then you gotta send in the soldiers and go to war. Other than that, you're just chilling. But that's it, man. Kicking it and killing, bro. You know? Living in war. This is dope. This is super sick. In this area right here was like a common ground. So, you know, usually areas like this is where the peasants live at. Because of course, with every palace, you need peasants. You need an underclass that serves the king. And in society, it hasn't really changed. We still got hoods, we got ghettos, we got poor ass areas that serve the rich. You know, but this is kind of like a ancient version of that. But man, I love Korean old architecture, like the roofing, the colors. If I had a lot of money, I would probably go to a mansion that looks something like this, but inside it's all modern. This is fucking dope. You know, back in the days, there's no way you could have entered a royal palace unless you're working for the king or you're part of the royal family. Just like today, you can't get into certain government buildings, you know, unless you get clearance. But the fact that we could just pay the equivalent of like a quarter to come through and roam around, fucking love it. Got all the Chinese tourists out here. See, these are the type of people that the kingdom would keep away. No offense to all the Chinese people, but yeah, if there was some Chinese people trying to come through the gates, oh, we would knock them down. No entry allowed. Check that out, though. That shit is fucking amazing. And this is a city hall right here, right there. So they built the city hall right next to the fucking royal palace. Right in here is where the king would sit and demand, where is my kimchi jjigae? You peasants? Where is my karbi? Where is my bulgogi, sheep sekider? And they would serve him the best food. Like all the food you eat today in Korea, all the Korean barbecue, only dudes like that sitting in these chairs could eat food like that. Back in the days, everyone else is just eating kimchi and rice. But of course, light some fire right here, and this would be a lamp. So imagine how amazing it looked at night. All these fucking lanterns lit up. Surreal. Even the city hall, like holy shit, this shit looks like it was built some quite time ago. And what are they inspired by? This is like inspired by, let's see the columns. This looks a lot like the fucking buildings in LA actually, with a little bit more European flair. You know what I mean? I'm guessing this area is where his down ass homies live, you know, like his fucking day ones, his ride or die homies. You know, they always gotta stay close to the king, because guess what, man? You got people out here trying to ransack the kingdom and they gotta be on guard. And this area right here is probably where all the hoes kick it at, all his concubines. Because you know, back in the days, man, the kings had to have at least a stack of 10, right? My great-grandpa, I didn't know until like a couple years back, dude, my great-grandpa, I just fucking knew that he had like 4 wives. That's my great-grandpa. He's not even royalty or nothing. You know, he's just a poon hound hustler. So imagine how many hoes these fucking royalty, these kings had. Spread that seed, you feel me? More quarters right here. This is the commoners. This is the guy. This is probably all the people that, they're not quite peasants, but they had to take care of like his horses. They had to maintain his palace. This is like middle management, I'm guessing, right over here. And oh, you know what? Or maybe like, yeah, this looks like it's like a horse stable. And this is where they had their meetings. This is where he rallies the troops. All right, let's take a look. Because even today, they make dramas, right? These Korean dramas about Korean medieval times. And they would use locations like this and film their TV shows. So whenever I used to watch these type of like medieval Korean dramas, eras like this is where they would always have everyone assembled, and then the king would fucking give a speech about how they're not gonna stand down. Either it's fucking ride or die, and then everyone would get amped up and ready to go to war. Like I said, if they're not doing that, they're just kicking back. So it's just an extreme life, you know, it's just peace and war, man. That's all it is. And once upon a time, ancient Korea, there was separate kingdoms. So then all the kingdoms would kind of beef with each other, and it'd always be like, it's like gang shit, you know, they would beef over territory. And then and eventually, like, yeah, all the kingdoms got united and create what the country is today into the fucking Chinese, man. They came and fucked it all up back in North Korea. If that never happened, we would have one country up in here. We wouldn't have to worry about fucking bitch ass North Korea. You know what I mean? So but this area right here, this is even today, you know, when you look at a layout of a city, the people that have the most amount of status and money, they live on a hill. So if you're living on a place that's elevated, you're a person of status. Why is that? Because you're looking down on people naturally, right? Fucking snobs. We just had rain today, so if you look at the colors, they're so vibrant. They're loud, which, you know, color's a very important thing for human senses. You know, the more colorful things are, it's like, I think it does something to us or makes us feel a bit more alive, right? If you look at like today's society, everything's kind of like monochrome. There's a lot of gray, black, and white, and it kind of kills the spirit, I think. But see, if you look at people back then, they didn't have, of course, you know, like electronic technology, so then they had to incorporate a lot of color to stimulate the senses. And it's awesome, man, because they had to take their time to cut out this whole section right here. And who knows how long it took, right? But there's a reason for that. So this palace, right, has been here for a long time, you know, centuries. So over the years, like, let's see when this was built. I'm guessing this is like the 1800s. Okay. You know, it's just like how they built this building right here, which is not used anymore. This is like their city hall. Let's look, let's see. Oh, still don't understand. Oh, 1902. I was, you know, kind of close. Raise the status of the Daehan Empire against. Oh, he was trying to go against the Western powers, so that didn't work out. Okay. No, downsize. The original hall in 1933. It was demolished, and then they restored it. An historical landmark. Isn't that cool?